So it turns out the male orgasm and male ejaculation are two different things that happen at two different times. Hello everyone, my name is Martin, and in this video I'm going to talk about the sexual potential of a guy. So I'm going to hit you with a disclaimer first. These things I'm going to talk about are going to be vastly different from what you've believed your whole life. So it's super normal to reject them outright. But for the sake of you watching this video so you can get the most out of it, please try and be open-minded for the next 10 minutes or so. So, like I said, this video is about the sexual potential of guys, and this video is broken down into two parts. One of them is my findings, and the other part is my own experience. It all started when I bought this book called The Multi-Orgasmic Man. It's by Mantek Chia and Dave Abrams. So the pitch is that actually guys are able to have as many orgasms as they want that are like much stronger, they last longer, and this can all happen without the lows of ejaculation. If you're a guy, I'm sure you know about the lows of ejaculation, but if you're a girl and you're watching this video and you're like, what the hell? This is why there's a meme of a guy who kind of has sex with a girl, he finishes and then he falls asleep straight away. It turns out that actually producing sperm is incredibly taxing on the human body. So once you release that sperm, your body starts making new one, and you know, like the symptoms for me are like I'm more tired, I've got less energy, less motivation, even my mood is worse. There's actually some studies that are written in this book that are conducted on animals, and some of them die soon after spawning, and others when are prevented from ejaculating, they live like 50% longer. If that even slightly applies to people, then that's like revolutionary. Like I said, orgasms and ejaculation are two different things. They just happen very close to one another, and when we first discover about them, we learn to confuse them and think that it's the same thing, but it's not. Here's how the book differentiates between the two. Unlike orgasm, which is a peak of emotional and physical experience, ejaculation is simply a reflex that occurs at the base of the spine and results in the ejaculation of semen. This thing isn't new. If you Google or YouTube hashtag nofap, it's basically this movement with millions of people interested in it. And it's guys and girls who found out that by abstaining from masturbation, they feel better, you know, they have more energy, more motivation. But actually what I'm trying to kind of inform with this video is that you can have those benefits while still having a normal sexual practice and lifestyle. So the main way you're gonna have non-ejaculatory orgasms is using this technique called the big draw. Here's a quote from the book on the big draw technique. There's nothing mystical about the big draw technique for stopping the ejaculatory spasm. You squeeze the PC muscles around the sperm ducts and then progressively pump the big muscles in the buttocks. These big muscles draw the blood away from the genitals. At the same time, you draw the energy away from the genital nerves by shifting your mental focus in a wave of nerve sensations traveling up your spine and into your brain. The combination of these actions simply removes the blood and energy the genital muscles need in order to involuntarily spasm. That was a mouthful. Let me give you the layman's version of how I'd explain it to someone. You kind of get near the edge of where you're about to ejaculate, and then you squeeze the muscles around your pelvis, and then like focus that squeeze traveling up your spine and into your head. You notice that I used, and he used, the word energy a lot, and this isn't some mystical term. It's just the way this book refers to the electrical current which travels through our bodies. So our bodies use this electrical current to send messages along our nerves. So when you want to like move your fingers or tilt your head, this is all like using this electrical current which carries that information. If you want to know a bit more about this, I found a really succinct and technical explanation of this, and I'm gonna post that link in the comments. Other things that I like that's written in this book is that it talks about how to pleasure a woman, or the best way to do so. And unless you have a very open communication channel with your partner, it's going to take you a long time to find out how that really works, especially if you've been watching porn, because it turns out that actually the way they have sex on porn is done best to simulate a guy in the bedroom masturbating instead of each other. So like It's lots of thrusts, which kind of mirror like the masturbation more. And instead, actually, you know, there should be like screwing motions and details, like, yeah, lots of good stuff in this book. Also, it talks about sex being an intimate exchange of energy. Here's a quote from the book. Taoists view the body as dynamic, realizing that the real charge comes from the interplay of subtle energies and not from the pounding together of two hard, static bodies. And I really gel with this way of thinking because the best times that I've had sex is when I've known that person really well and she's known me, and it's not just about getting off, it's about it's kind of like this interaction you have with someone. Okay, so that's about my findings. This next bit is about my own experience. The way I come across this book is about 5 years ago when I was unemployed and kind of depressed. So I was fed up with that. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna abstain from all the things that I've noticed that decrease my performance so I can use that energy and get a job. So one of those things was drinking, the other thing was smoking, and one of the things was masturbating. Because I realized that when I masturbate the day after, you know, I'm more tired, I don't have that motivation and whatnot. And you need all that stuff to get a job, especially when you're living at home. So yeah, I somehow stumbled upon this book, and the bold claims that this book is making are 100% true. The catch is, you're gonna have to practice. Yeah, it's a skill, and at the start you're gonna suck, but then the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. It's kind of like riding a bike, but realize that if you do stop practicing, then you're gonna get a little bit rusty and you're gonna have to work up to that peak level that you had before. One of the things you're gonna need to get anywhere with this is determination, because it's gonna take a lot of determination when you're right on the cusp of ejaculating, but you realize that, you know, this is for my own betterment, and I'm gonna decide to practice these skills. That's gonna take a lot of determination. The other thing it's gonna need is patience, because at the start, you're not gonna be so good at moving this energy around, and to get it to a point where you feel like it equates your ejaculatory orgasms, that's gonna take a little bit of patience. And lastly, you're gonna need self-love, because it's inevitable. You're gonna fail many times doing this. You're gonna decide to slip into the ejaculatory orgasm. You're gonna be like, oh, what the heck? And then afterwards, you're gonna feel a bit guilty, you know? So realize that, you know, this is part of the process, part of the journey. You're learning, you're working on it. It's not how many times you fail, it's how many times you get back up. The other requirement is that you're gonna have to quit porn. To do this practice, you're gonna have to be incredibly inward focused, and you're gonna have to monitor your arousal levels very closely so you don't actually go over the top and ejaculate. Like I said, this is about learning to differentiate between orgasm and ejaculation, and that space is very, very close, especially at the start. But by learning, you know, to differentiate that space, you've got more room to play with when you develop more aptitude for it. Porn, on the other hand, is a very outward focused thing. You're watching a video, you're trying to escape into it, and I've tried many times to do this while watching porn, and so many times I've failed. It's impossible. Yeah, if you're looking for a reason to quit, I think this is a good one. Similarly to porn, it's going to be easiest for you to practice this on your own at the start, because when you're doing this with a partner, obviously you have more to think about. And actually, to be honest, out of all the times that I've known about these methods and I've had sex, very, very few have I decided to have a non-ejaculatory one, to finish the sex with a non-ejaculatory one, then an ejaculatory one. But I think this is due to sex being a relatively novel experience for me. For someone who has a long-term partner or they have sex often, it would be easier for them to kind of decide to forego the ejaculation and realize that sometimes you're actually going to want to blow off some steam and do it, and that's like perfectly fine, and the book even registers this. It's just giving you options if you want to still experience pleasure while not like exhausting yourself in the process. And the most important thing that you should do is do what is right for you at the moment, regardless of what it says in a book or what some guy on the internet is telling you to do. Lastly, I want to finish off on an interesting perspective that was shared by this book. Though all people have instinctual sexual desire, What we do with this desire and how we maintain and cultivate it over a lifetime are anything but obvious. Many of us learned about sex at a very early age when we were young and unexperienced and ignorant. We've taken these beliefs and we've carried them with us all the way until adulthood. Maybe it's time to review those thoughts and beliefs. A lot of things changed, and why would we keep holding on to those same beliefs even though we're big now and everything's different? If you change all your habits now that you're an adult, why should you not change this as well? Okay, it's a wrap. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Martin and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna post stuff here about self-help, self-development, and if you wanna know more, maybe you should consider subscribing. Likewise, if you thought there was anything here worth sharing, share it, give me a like. If you've got any questions, drop a comment. Thank you for watching. Bye 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 bye.